Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another Commissioner Corner podcast here on the Cruise Control Podcast Network. I'm joined by my co-host, the one and only Brian Gardenhire, Mr. LS Express. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother.
Good. All right. So with that further notes, just want to let you know we got a nice little video to show you on behalf of the Commissioner Corner podcast.
Tim Duggan is 7 foot. Where is he hiding?
Where is he hiding?
I never saw him though. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Oh, he's getting low.
This is crazy.
Because I feel like you birthed the tunnel photos. So,
Hey!
so before anybody was on that, Gabby's been with from exclusive Nike, designer.
We ended up going to Green Bay, a 15-win team led by Aaron Rodgers. Beat the brakes off of them. That game wasn't even close.
I mean, every time I see that, it's amazing. I can't believe we spend maybe our 12 shows together doing these wonderful shows, and we still going. I mean, I don't know how you feel about the video. It's awesome.
It don't get old, man. You know, when you have memories like that and moments with dynamic people.
Yep.
It doesn't get old, and we just looking forward to creating new ones, man. Today's a new day, and I know the people is gonna be excited about this one. Having a fellow comrade on with us.
Yes. So just for our audience, we want to make sure that you continue to follow our streams and our podcasts. You can download, subscribe at our SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple, as well as our YouTube page at youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Please download, subscribe to our podcast. We are rocking and rolling. We also on Twitter now. So anybody listening up to our podcast, please follow us at Commish Corner on Twitter and our IG on commissioners.corner on Instagram. Also, we're accepting any questions, comments. Hit us in the chat. Just like you said, BG, we got a special guest. Just for the audience, I want to let everybody know we are doing our Commissioner Corner platform. It doesn't matter what state, what borough, we are going to bring on the commissioners from respective leads, not only in New York City, but across the world. So that was our angle. So this is going to be the month of March Madness. This will be the month of our Commissioner Corner, of bringing actual commissioners from leagues to share their light, share their memories, but also giving their flowers while they're still here. So without further ado, we have one of, like you said, one of our friends and colleagues and one of the most genuine people I know in street basketball across this world, none other than Nick Ansom of Venice Ball. I'd like to welcome Nick to the Commissioner Corner podcast. Nick, what's going on, baby?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm good. How's everybody doing?
We are good,
New
man.
York City's finest over here, man. It's good to see y'all again.
Oh man, it's always a pleasure seeing you. How you been? How's the family?
Everything beautiful, man. We're just just still dreaming day to day. You know, finding more ways to get buckets. You know, it seems like it gets harder every day over here in Cali, but
Right.
Still here making it happen. Dreaming of those New York days we spent together down there, man. That was truly epic.
Man, that was epic, man. And what you done like this past summer in the pandemic, and what you've been able to do with your creative mind, we're gonna dive into that, because you're into a lot of different things, not only basketball but community work, and I really admire what you do. So we're gonna jump right into it, man. So I don't know if you heard us, but we're doing a Commissioner Corner platform this month. So me and BG run tournaments in New York City, respectfully. You run the world-renowned Venice Beach basketball tournament at Venice Beach. So you're one of our first guests on the platform this month. We're going to bring on a bunch of commissioners around the world to talk about their story and why they do this work each and every summer. So Nick, give us the history about Venice Beach Basketball League. What got you into it, and what drives you every day to be the face of this program?
Man, how did I get to Venice Beach, man? In '96, I was on a summer camp tour. I was doing the Lavin basketball camp in San Francisco, and my dad had a friend down here. First of all, I grew up in France. I was born in San Francisco, grew up in France. Like I said, I came here for a basketball camp. my dad decided to drive down and be like, yo, I got a friend in LA now. We can go visit LA. So came down to LA. I had heard about Venice Beach. I hadn't seen the movie White Man Can't Jump yet. But basically, yeah, just ended up in that Santa Monica courts. We got courts like quite similar to Venice, like beautiful blue courts in Santa Monica. It's like, yeah, if you go down the beach, I landed at the Santa Monica courts. After balling for like 3 or 4 games, I'm like, man, this is dope, man. You know, that was my first interaction to like playground basketball culture. Like,
Okay.
just pull up and get a game going. Like, we really didn't have anything like that, like where I grew up. So that was dope. But they're like, hey, if you like this, you should go check out the Venice Beach courts. I was
Right.
like, what? This ain't Venice? He's like, no, you got to go down there. And then it was like, you know, that's when I realized like Hooper's Paradise, like this is the Mecca. You got 3 courts, you know, like for me, it's like, you know, I hadn't seen anything like it. So, you know, every court was popping, you know, found my way down one court. And I spent, you know, 12-hour days. My dad would drop me in the morning. We spent 5 days there, you know, made my way from the worst court on the next to the handball court onto the main court. By the end, the day was done. And then, you know, went back to France and just couldn't stop dreaming of coming back to Venice. So, yeah, that kind of planted the seeds when I first came in 96. I really hadn't seen any tournaments or anything like that. I just was like, yo, that's special. Just pulling up and hooping and seeing people from all over the world, all walks of life, just kind of getting me going.
For sure.
That's where the seed was planted. And, you know, fast forward now, you know, 2020, 2006, I was kind of struggling between injuries, playing college ball, junior college here in LA. And, you know, just kind of got a little bit tired of the politics, and my body couldn't hold it anymore. And I just wasn't ready to accept that, you know, I was going to spend my rest of my life playing adult leagues. You know, you guys are spoiled. Like New York, every park's jumping in the summer. Like,
right.
In LA, like there's no outdoor tournaments, you know, surprisingly. So I was like, you know, I'm going to unite everybody around the city and we're going to throw a little tournament. And
right.
Just looking back today, my man Ryan Hicks from Ballin' for Peace, whose father started the tournament, who was friends with Earl Manigault, like witness with his own eye, Earl picking up quarters from the top of the backboard, had established the tournament in the 70s, and he stopped like in the late 90s. He was sharing some of the footage today, and I saw like, you know, Ryan showed up with like Sick With It, Bone Collector, Doug Thomas. I mean, we had like, you know, guys like Keith Claus that was just like, you know, 3 or 4 years out of the league at that time, you know, like, I'm like, damn, I thought I had the best street ball team in LA, and then we got whooped first round. So that was a quick reality check on like where my game was at when it came to outdoor hoops. And, you know, we've been rocking 16 years nonstop, you know.
So in 06, you became the official owner of VBO, correct?
Yeah, I think like
how did that transition go?
Architect, you know, you don't own the land, you kind of borrow it for the moment.
Right.
So how did you borrow it in terms of your transition from the previous?
You come and build the land. Yeah. Well, respectfully, I spoke to Ryan, whose father.
We got something for you, Nick. We got something for you, Nick. Hey, look at the hair. Look at the hair. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, jeez. So yeah, no, this is looking back. This was like a Bill Corsnell Walls campaign. I was fresh out of Belize, and that was like about 6 years ago. And I had just renovated a court on the island in San Pedro. And I was like, yo, before we go any further with this, we have to redo the home court. You know, like you see, it's kind of splashy. Right. The stage is dope. We got the OG. This is Ron Beal's day, like when we honor all the legends.
Right.
A lot of the White Man Can't Jump cast usually pulls up that day, but it needed a little bit sparking colors. Like it had just that plain blue. And this is when we came to the city with the presentation of like just kind of updating and putting a little bit of style and art to the court. And that's when we came up with the wave court and start bringing a little bit of kind of Caribbean sea color and just like brighten up the space a bit.
Gotcha.
So this was a campaign we did. That was like my first coming out to a lot of people. Like were like, oh, we never really see you on the camera and everything. Like, and that was my coming out to be like, yo, we've been running this league for 12 years now. Like, the court needs some updates, like, and
Right.
and we need your help. And that was a success. Like, we'll go a little bit further back into the hoop bus later, but like the people have really showed love into these. It's amazing to be able to utilize this social media community to to take part in this hoop dream that we all share together.
Of course.
And it really takes a whole village. So you knocking on doors, but then all of a sudden now we got like 100,000 followers here. But be like, hey guys, like this is my idea.
Yeah.
Anybody that's ever been to Venice Beach has been touched. Like if you're a hooper, like you're like, man, that place is special. And then you're like, you present like we could even make it that much better. Like let's freshen it up, let's clean it up, and let's make sure like somebody follows up every week so we can create a little bit of program around it, like bring a little bit of structure to the madness, so we can kind of highlight the talent that we have here, because it's we're full of that.
Dope. Yeah, B.
No, that's amazing, man. And jumping into the next question, right? Like, again, you not being from, actually Venice Beach, spend time in Santa Monica for school, obviously. What were some of the things to make you actually want to start just like a league, right? Like, us being tournament directors, understanding how long, people don't understand the behind the scenes work, how much time that goes into it, how much planning, and then just even the community kind of opening up their arms to you for running the league. What kind of made you want to do a full out league there versus just maybe doing like an event? Again, with the history of the Drew League, that they had some stuff over there in LA. What kind of made you want to do a full out league at VBL, which kind of is now your home,
Man, I don't know, bro. I don't spend too much time thinking about it. I came into it blind. I've never witnessed like a true ball tournament. I mean, I've seen what N1 did on TV. I was like definitely amazed and inspired by that whole movement. So I think it was like coming fresh out of that, and I think it was like I'm a hooper. I love the game. I love hooping at Venice, but like. Playing street balls, come with a lot of drama, come with a lot of nonsense, and as you just there's times like you're able to deal with the nonsense. Other times you just want to hoop, like, and nobody trying to get in no fights over like a basketball game, like, it's not worth it. And so, we wanted to, I just wanted to reunite everybody. At that time, really, when we started the league, I was already working in Hollywood as a DJ, so I would DJ a couple nights a week. Like, so in the weekends, I still have like all my crates and records over here. Like, I would just bring out my records, my crates. They were already in my trunk, so I just pull up at the beach, set up the turntables. Like I had a bunch of homies that was nice on the mic, and a bunch of homies that knew how to DJ, and I knew a lot of hoopers. And, like that stage is just like, it's already built. It's already beautiful. The scenery, you don't have to do much other than that. Like, let's add some fire beats. Let's maybe bring in a little bit of food or something. And like, we began super raw. Like, we was like either skins and shirts. Some certain teams had their own kind of like blank uniforms they would bring. But yeah, I really wanted to like merge both worlds together and throw like a major beach party. That was really kind of the recipe. I see a lot of tournaments in New York really don't. I never even knew that. Like when the games are played, like you guys turn off the music. Like once we plug in, it's like the music is on all day. I just like we just dropping instrumentals on top of the MC, and so it was just like I think it was bringing both of these worlds together, and also the need for a place for myself to showcase. Honestly, I just wanted to hoop, and I think I spoke on it briefly earlier. It's like. I was not ready to accept like just playing at the Beverly Hills YMCA like once a week with the same cats, like it's just like plain boring. So I got the first taste. It was not a league at first. It was just a tournament, and we just did it one day, and we wanted 12 teams to show up, and 16 teams showed up, and everybody's hitting me up after that like yo when's the next one? I was like, bro. That was the craziest thing, you know. It just came with so much drama. It was like $50 to get in, $500 for the winners, man. Like
That's
3
dope.
death threats at the end of the day. I'm like, bro, I don't know. I wanted to chill on that. You know, like it's not that serious. And then, you know, I was like, but you know, after I took like a day or two to soak it in, I'm like, man, this is special, man. This is the energy that I want. This is what I strive for. This is the competition level that I want to play at. You know, that's the stage. Like, you know, I still feel the need to compete today. Like, but I want to play against the best. You know.
Right.
So I felt like the stage was there, and you know, I was always optimistic. You know, I was like, yo. My man John Nash just had like a fresh TV show. Shout out to John Nash, like helped me get it going. He had like a TV show on like a small network in LA, and he was like, yo, like we could turn this into a TV show. So he brought the whole camera crew. We had dudes on skateboards. I had 2 skateboarders. I was like, yo, why don't we, instead of renting dollies, like I could just film on the skateboards. So we started getting like some crazy shots, you know. And later it evolved into like roller skates and GoPros, but like, you know, it was fun, man. I just enjoyed it. You know, for the first almost decade, I would just put my nightlife money back into just throwing a free party for everybody on Sundays. I don't know. Maybe I went a little deeper in your question.
That's good.
You're bringing back some history. I'm like reliving it as I'm speaking it to you guys.
And that's what you want.
That's a long time coming.
Sure. And I want to just say, like, you know, again, for me, and I can attest to, you know, you know, having the love to just want to give others a platform. That's kind of one of the reasons I started LES. Obviously, I was playing on the New York City circuit. And, you know, I had an impact on the circuit, but I seen the need for others to get more exposures and have more of a platform and kind of more chance to kind of just be out there with more of the top level players. That was one of the things I wanted to start LES. But I want you to talk to a little bit about some of the trials and tribulations about getting it off the ground. Like you just said, you kind of talked about a little bit as far as, you know, having, you know, sometimes a lot of people, you wanted 12 teams, you got 16. Talk to us a little bit on the commissioner side about maybe some of the things that you had to go through starting up the league that people don't really get the insight on, because us as commissioners, we know it, you know, but a lot of people don't understand a lot of times, you know, getting finance, you know, getting funding for the tournament, you know, whether it's, you know, issues with permits. Talk to us a little bit about those things.
Man, I mean, it's a labor of love, man. Like, you know, if you're going in like thinking you're gonna start a business, like, you know, just like you're probably in it for the wrong reasons. Like, same like you, bro. Like, I want to showcase the talent. Like, there's so much forgotten talent, and it's like the cruel reality of like the way the basketball is set up in America is like, once you're out of high school or you don't make it to college, like you're just in a adult league world. Like, you know, like I grew up in France, so like if I still go today, I can still play at a national level. Like we have Pro A, Pro B, National 1, National 2, National 3. Even in regional, you can make some money. But at least if you don't make money in regional, however old you are, you still get a crowd coming out. You're wearing matching jerseys. You might have local sponsors. You'll get like a free dinner or something, you know, like. But there's a feeling of like belonging to a squad that's like, you know, a shout out to the FIBA and like kind of the European organization for that is like, you know, we live like in the US, it's like, you know, they're big on this monopoly. Like, you know, going back in history is like, and, you know, ABA was the league, and then, you know, NBA came in and it's kind of like slowly took over, and now we kind of have a G League. I don't know. Still haven't really figured out. Like, I mean, it's dope that they actually added squads, but there's so much talent in this in the US, bro. If you played even one of the top high school, if you played at a college level, you're a professional. You could go anywhere, like in Europe or South America, and play a role on the squad. So it's like once you get to those 10,000 hours, like it just feels a little unfair that you dedicate your whole life, you know. And I was like, you know, I was in college, I tore my ACL, and it was like, doctor was like, yeah, you know, it's.
That's funny. I tore mine too.
ACL surgeries were not that good. What year did you get yours, Joe?
2002.
Yeah, you know, that was tough. That was iffy. Like maybe you come back, maybe you don't. Like the doctor was like, you'd be lucky, like, you know.
I got 2 screws in my knee still, so.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. And, you know, he was like, what else you want to do with your life, son? So it's like, once you got that hoop dream and it's really ingrained, like this is something that I really want to share. And if there's other people watching this, that's like, that kind of feel this in their souls, like, you know, I'm never going to give up on basketball, like, no matter what, you know. And I'm so grateful that we're able to like turn, you know, VBL into Venice ball and like what it is now is you know. But it's, you got to have this like relentless mindset of like, no matter what, I'm not going to give up. This, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's God's calling, you know. It's like, you know, this like part of your destiny. So, you know, I found home in Venice, you know, and, you know, obviously trials of getting permits is always a challenge. Getting insurance, you know, like you got to pay the city, you got to pay the insurance, you got to pay your staff, you got to pay referees. I mean, for the first couple of years, we were just like switching whistles. We're like, yeah, put a little, like this, here, your time to ref, bro. Like switching like just sweaty little striped shirts, and it's like, so it's, you know, it's like I embrace it all. Like I look back at all these days, and these were glorious. It was like, it was simple. Now it's like sponsor. You know, with sponsors comes deliveries, and a certain expectations and levels. So now you got to level up. So, you know, there's more cost that comes along with everything. So it's there's a lot of layers, and you got to be that PG. You got to run that point. You got to put somebody down there to delegate, you know, you know, I think we've done a good job. I always had a little bit of this like filmmaker mindset of like really like kind of telling stories and trying to capture the game a little bit different, like bring people inside of that world. Like I feel like, you know, the NBA is like kind of everything from a distance is always like separation from the players and the fans. I really want to
good point.
Bring really everybody together. So, yeah, man, I mean, you know, just people that are thinking about doing it, like, go for it, man. There's nothing more rewarding at the end of the day. I mean, you know, it always feels better to give than to receive, at least for myself. And I think you guys can attest to that. And it's
praise the Lord on that. Praise the Lord. That's,
you know, it's just something special about just creating that rendezvous and you know, and creating a family, like literally, like everywhere you go. I mean, we've thrown tournaments in Dallas and everywhere across the U.S. this summer. Like, even the way you guys received us, it's like this basketball game is universal. You know, I came there, I barely spoke English, you know, and it's like, yo, you hoop, like we got this dub, like we fam, like, you know, it's on. And now it's like, it's cool to be able to, you know, we've had a platform and guys came, showed out, went to the Globetrotters. Some guys even went to the NBA. Guys went to the G League, and you know, you make some noise down here. You know, you might end up places, and it's cool to be able to play a part. And like, again, I like to say unlocking the hoop dream. Like it's there. There's a lot of talent and stuff like that, but there's something special about coming back to the essence, you know. And I think that's like outdoors. That's a pickup style of play. That's like a coach that's like lets you rock and like really feel the environment, you know. Something, you know. I mean, as much as like my back and my knees feel different, I'd still choose like playing outdoor any day, you know. If I had the choice, like going to an indoor run, or if it was the same level of competition, I'd probably just pick outside, just because it just brings a whole other relaxation to the game. You know what I mean? Like, you breathe different outside, you know, especially now, like in COVID times, man, I don't want to get stuck in the gym, you know, like.
For sure. So one thing I want to tell you, Nick, that I had the luxury of spending my birthday with you in LA. And the one thing I was able to kind of witness with you, that was, first of all, thank you. The hospitality was incredible, but what I was able to tell BG and my brother and the people I came back with LA about you, I did speak behind your back, but I said in a good thing. I said, the one thing about him, he's devoted to his community and to his area. And not many people, I didn't know, but not many people know that you live on Venice Beach. Like, you have the luxury of both worlds, right? What I want to tell you is that you're a devoted man that I was able to see myself when I was trying to get Orchard Beach, or Randy and I was trying to get Orchard Beach to the level that you have yours at. But just the way you walked the bro walk, and the places you went and the places we ate at, it was all love and it was accepting. And I feel like the community has embraced you to one of their own. So whether you were born in France or whether you was visiting here, you are a product of Venice Beach. And I just was able to see that firsthand. If Orchard Beach had homes, and I would have lived there too, like you. But New York is not like that. But it was just amazing to see how you are in your own element outside of the tournament. And also you were still the same Nick with no VBL or not. And I want to commend you on that, because that's
love. I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, bro. Like you said it well, man. It's like kind of Venice Beach raised me in that sense of like, just like every day's a new adventure, and like you learn how to accept and appreciate people no matter what. It's like you gotta have this unconditional love, respect. Like no matter what, because guys are gonna get out of hand, teams are gonna lose, guys are gonna get out of character, and later they generally come and like apologize, like my bad, B, Joe, I was acting up, I was hot. I'm like, cool, bro. But that's what Venice is, it's a place full of characters, and it's so diverse, and people show real emotions. And I think like Venice for me is like that last place in LA that just feels really real and like authentic and genuine. And now it's more than ever, it's flooded with homelessness and just like the crime's like off the roof right now. But it's a place where you got to face with reality. This is what America looks like. This is the representation of where we stand, and there's just like this crazy flow of creativity. This is where like roller skating was born, where skating was born, like
surfing.
Surfing, a little bit. It definitely was revolutionized, like on the down there. But yeah, it's such a melting pot of music, and you see it, food, and it's definitely home. But yeah, we had to postpone the boardwalk apartment for a minute, so we're regrouping until they unlock the courts and let us paint over the jail style court they just rebuilt for us.
Well, let me segue to this. Do you remember your first NBA player or athlete or team that co-signed V-Ball for you in your tenure?
Oh wow! First NBA player who pulled up was Keith Kloss. Shout out to the legend, 7'3", aka the tall can, aka the mythical creature, Boss Kloss, man. This dude is just the most genuine, loving dude. Like he used to play in the tournaments in the 90s, even while he was with the Clippers. Rocking the big fro, matching up against Shaq. He was there from the jump, and he still shows up till this day. 16 years later. But who came late? And then after that, like Dwight Howard showed up at a pickup game. And first big player to make his debut. The one that strikes to me most is like our boy Meta World Peace. We had like small guys like Tony Farmar, like George Hill made a couple appearances, but these are more like all-star type of showcases. Like Meta, like we matched up at the sports club down the street, and he was like, he saw my jersey. He's like, VBL. He's like, oh, VBL, man, that's Venice Beach League. I was like, yeah. He's like, how do I get in that? I was like, that was my third time. I'm like, man, that's my league, bro. I was like, it was a Thursday. He's like, man, I want to play on Sunday. I got a squad. I was like, bro, we like week 4 into the season. I'm like, let me see what I can do. Like,
of course you will do that.
I was like, yo. I'm like, yeah, you might have to take this bye this week, we got a special appearance. So Meta shows up with his son and like, I don't know, 3 high school kids. Comes out kind of light off the jump. I think they lose by 30, and he goes off on Twitter. He's like, man, I need to recruit. We coming back stronger. So he came back next week, like Meta, old school Ron. With the elbows and got like a crazy double-double. The week after, they played like a really tough team. Sunblock's always one of the most competitive teams. Shout out to Sunblock. And he came out and just really let people know. And that was like a year, maybe 2 after the championship. So he was he was still like debating if that summer he was going to go back into the NBA. So that was fresh to have him for a whole season, you know, and like him just kind of like put that much passion. Like you really like that kind of like, I think he represents New York so well in that sense of like, no matter where there's a game, that's someone that's going to pull up. You know, he's one of those rare few NBA players. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like if there's a good run, I want to be a part of. It's like you got both of his kids on the court, and you know they're both like playing college ball now. So it's dope to again like that they got to experience that. But yeah, we still like a couple of years ago, Montrezl Harrell was playing with us. Like he came in between like a playoff game and some Chinese dude challenger. He's like, play me one-on-one. He was like, word, put on some sneaks. He was just a guest. Like he was playing. He had a freaking playoff game the next day. Shout out to Montrez, bro.
Shout out to Montrez. That's what's up.
It's freaking cool, man. So, but I mean, I don't want to say like, yeah, most NBA guys that show up, they get a little timid. You know, they try to shoot at the beach. You know, that breeze is a little different. You know.
That's a fact.
He's usually trying to come out there a little bit polished and smooth. Like, if you want to get some buckets at the beach, you got to get dirty and find a way to adjust that jump shot. You know, it's like.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar with that outside. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, you would know.
I would know very well. Go ahead, B.
Nah, so I mean, we're gonna jump around. You know, obviously, you've done so many amazing things, and you know, being the creative you are, you know, you're dancing on some of our questions. But for me, some of the biggest things that you've done was a lot of the community work, man, with the murals, doing a Kobe mural, doing some stuff for Nipsey Hussle, and just really influencing and impacting that community in a dynamic way, because a lot of times, you know, when you're a part of something and you take loss and devastation, those things really uplift the community in numerous ways. And seeing it from afar, I was touched by it. So just talk a little bit about, you know, what went into, you know, you putting in those amazing efforts, being an artist you are first, but having that heart and that passion to want to uplift that community in such a dynamic way.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I told you early, like five years ago, I went to Belize. I was on a vacation with my girl, and I discovered this court. It was covered in gravel, but it was right on the water, and it was so beautiful. And that's at the time we had started our Give a Ball campaign. So I always travel with like a carry-on, a couple of changes of clothes for myself, and like a suitcase full of basketball. So it's like
amazing,
that gift of like sharing. And then everywhere, every playground, we just like, you know, pump a ball. Here you go. Like a ball goes a long way. You go overseas, a lot of kids take the game for granted over here, but it's like, you know, most kids in most part of the world are still playing barefoot. You know, barely even have, you know, basketballs to play with. So
here's a little shot of the mural.
Yeah. That's Kobe, Italy. Yeah, I don't want to get too far off topic, but yeah, that's kind of what planted the seed. And I grew, you know, I did a lot of graffiti growing up in Paris, so there was this affinity for putting life in colors in cities, you know, and like really kind of like, I guess, making statements, but also, you know, just speaking from the heart and like and freely. So, you know, once I did that court in Belize, I knew it. I was like, that was instant. It was like a court that was kind of abandoned in gravel. We repainted. Next thing you know, like 3 days later, I'm staying at a free hotel on the beach. You know, I'm not paying for food at the restaurant. The whole community, again, I mean, you know, we're in Belize on the island. Like the community instantly embraces you with projects like this.
Right.
And everybody joins in the paint, and it's a giant paint party. Next thing you know, we have a DJ. And like people come from different islands just to come and play basketball. So I've witnessed that. I mean, we've led almost like 100 projects till this day. You know, shout out to the team. You know, guys come through, they do internships, and then they go do projects. It just spread like wildfire from here, and it's a really addictive feeling. Same way like you guys run your league, like, and it's really like passion felt. Like when you start like really renovating the home court, like a place that's like cherished by so many, you know, it's like
Yep.
that attachment to that space, you know, and like it's something that, you know, just like, you know, I figured, I was like, wow, like I knew, like I stood there and I was like, I looked at the court, and it was basically just blue paint and a little bit of red, and I would just, you know, painted the game lines, was missing some 3 points. And I was like, yo, I could do this for the rest of my life. So fast forwarding to Kobe last year.
It was the Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, Nipsey. I mean, Nipsey was like, I was on the boardwalk, like I was trappy, and like some homies was like, yo, just Nipsey just out. Like, what? Like, it's kind of, you know, I had spoken with Nipsey before we were at Complex Con, and we did an event with N1 actually for their, was it their 25, what's it, with their 30th anniversary? What is that? It was something like that when they just announced that Kevin Garnett was going to be their new creative director.
Nice.
And then he came to the court and shot, and I was like, you know, I was like, yo, because they had just done a court in South Central. I was like, yo, Nipsey, we should do a court. He's like, word, like, get with me. We never got to it, but that moment really resonated. And you know, the next day, we went to that school that he had renovated, and they were like, yo, can we throw a little something like for in honor of Nipsey? She's like, yeah, you got to go to the school district. The approval process is 6 to 8 months. And I was like, nah, bro. Like the city's like down right now. Like we need this like now. Like, you know, like everybody needs something to cheer up and
for sure.
something to. At that point, I already assembled like 5 artists. Everybody that I spoke to, I was like, yo, like I don't know how we're gonna do this. I'll buy the paint, and we'll figure it out from there. And everybody was like, word, like I'll call off tomorrow, like. And so we went to Crete. And shout out to Brad and Hattie, like amazing principal. They run this charter school there. And like one court was like 11 feet. A court was missing a rim. Like that court was really, really poor condition, man. Like they had some straggly old balls there, man. So, you know, it came to them. She's like right away. It was like 8 in the morning. They like come to the office. They brought me a thing. Hattie was sitting on the table. I was like, yeah, this is what we have in mind. She's like, yeah, we're really close to Nipsey's family. Blah blah blah. We were supposed to also do something, and then it's just like instantly was like, okay, like when can you start? It's like I'll go buy the paint now, and we just got to work instantly. So it was something. It's like, you know, I think about it. It's like, you know, when, you know. Like life is a celebration, you know. It's like you celebrate,
right.
You live your whole life, and then to a certain extent, you're like, you know, like if I died, I want you guys. I wouldn't want to throw a big funeral party. Like I want you guys to celebrate my life and honor me, like on the court. So I figured, like, you know, like what's a good way to do this properly? First, let's honor. Let's do this mural. Let's get the community together to like. Have a place that they can really connect and visualize, and it's something you can see from the heavens too. You know, it's like it's really you know, you could drive over the city and just be like, yo, like. So it's
and you know what's crazy? That was some of the places that I went to in LA on my birthday, kind of seeing those things since the city was kind of shut down because of COVID.
Yeah.
And, my brother ran by kids, and you know the fam was out there, and we kind of really experienced that, you know, and. It's good to know that somebody I know as a commissioner or as a product of the community like yourself is doing imprints like this. I mean, when we went there, it was like beautiful. Like even Ethan Rodriguez says, "My guys, labor of love, good way of putting it out."
Yeah,
so I think,
thank you.
You know, I think that that's
what
my
up,
man. It's my man RBK.
Yeah.
So you know, I was telling BG, like, you know, those murals are like monumental to see them, right? Like. It's kind of surreal to see murals that are people who are, you can still hear their voice, but they're not here no more. And it's like you see Kobe and Nipsey, and you see Gianna, you see all this stuff that's going on, especially in this one of the worst years we had last year. To kind of see the uplifting and see the colors and see the beauty and see like massive people come from all types of the world to come to these landmarks. So segueing into that, the committee here considers Venice Beach a landmark, and then we do. You know, Venice Beach is known for pop culture, from video games, in the NBA, movie directing, movie shows, whatever. Is there a sense of responsibility to keep that reputation up for you in terms of the landmark itself as Venice Beach? how do you deal with those different
Man.
entities as a
I
commissioner?
mean, yeah, it was like, when I pulled up at the beach, it was, Venice, the ghetto by the beach, like, don't get caught up in the dark, it's like gang territory. And like, now it's like known as Silicon Beach. And, we have the Starbucks on the boardwalk and the Ben and Jerry's. And it's like, the beach has changed like crazy, bro. There's like a few dinosaurs left. Like, the original entertainers, like one of the last guys left is Harry Perry on his roller skates. So it's like, we lost like all the greats, like the guys that had a routine for coming for 30, 40, 50 years. Like, that whole generation has passed. So it's like, and now it's like you see these big corporations. I mean, rent is out of control. Like, you want to get a little shack on the beach now, it's like $7,000-8,000, and like the permits for the city are going up. Everything's going up in Venice. So
Yeah.
obviously, I think it's lost a little bit of its charm, but I think, basketball and playground culture is going to evolve to a certain extent. But, I want to make sure that that place remains pure and true and a safe haven for everybody to come and play. We got 4 courts. So, I recall that experience I had as a young kid, and I always want to make sure that's like when these kids come, like, there's a court to play, like, and there's a sense of respect for that next generation, and also integrating more females to come out and experience it. It's like we started like 4 years ago to like introduce like co-ed to our league. Like, I don't have enough women or time really to the daylight to run a whole women's division, but like I was like, you nice enough, you come to the tryouts, you get on a squad as a female and get on a team. So it's I mean, my job is on Sundays. Again, I'm not crediting myself for, Venice Beach was great before, and it'll be great long after. Hopefully, I'm gone. But it's it's the preservation and of an elevation of this game of basketball. I think we could still go further. It's a young sport, so I wanna bring it back to where it was like a little bit then. It was like you had to wait 2-3 games off the court.
Right.
It was like more attention on the hoop scene, but it's I think it's something that will organically happen, but it's changed a lot. Let's put it that way.
Segueing into that too. Big shout out to the Red Bull. One of our big supporters. We want to give a big shout out to Red Bull always. But segueing into that as far as youth and going and younger, right? We showed that video. Big shout out to you for starting the KVBL part of your program, which me and Joe, we have a significant love for the youth. Joe creating the summit with his brother Randy and Hoops in the Sun, and myself working with kids and the youth. Talk us a little bit about how that kind of movement started and how it affected the league in a totally different way, right? Like we work tournaments and we know that a lot of times the future is in the youth, right? And growing the next generation of basketball players, giving them a platform, giving them an outlet. Talk to us about kind of your love and now passion. I see into that movement.
I mean, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Like the way it began, it was like, I don't want to say most, but a good amount of the guys that were playing in the league had kids, and the way it works with the city when you get permits, it's for the day, right? So we were running from 12 to 5, and I was like, hold on, well, there's plenty of daylights left. Like, why don't we run something in the morning for the kids? So you bring your kids early, and we keep cultivating this like family environment. And at that time, I think I was like coaching like a couple of like rec ball kind of programs, and
right.
I want more people to experience this Hooper's paradise, and it's even more special in the morning because the shops are closed. There's less of the chaos, like as you go through the day, like Venice Beach is like builds up, like the rhythm gets a little bit faster and it gets wilder, and like the consumption, now it's like, weed capital of California. It's like everybody's, we're going to skip that part, but like, yeah, it gets crazy during the day. So I was like, let's dedicate the morning to the kids, and let's empower these kids. And then we came up with the Natural Leaders Program. You know, like I did a lot of my rehabilitation after I tore my ACL was like done through yoga and like therapy. So I was like, how can we empower the youth? Like I was like, we're going to teach them how to hoop. I was big and like, I don't know if you guys into nutrition, but I like smoothies. I was like, yo, we got these blenders. We're going to bring a bunch of fruits. I got Sidewalk Cafe down the streets to bring fruit. So they go to farmer's market. We have bananas, mangoes, strawberry with ice, and kids made their own smoothies right there on the spot. We got the yoga in. We do like a little beach workout, go touch the ocean, get blessed by the water, run back, and then got some hoops in, you know, and it was like, we called it Natural Leaders, and we've been rocking for, I want to say 14 summers. You know, I think about 10 years ago, we bought a van, so we were able to do constant caravan from Inglewood and South Central. So, like, we're able to, you know, bring more of the youth together, you know, local kids from the city, and just really connecting, like, again, like, just making that bridge and introducing both worlds, right? I think there's, like, the way like American cities, I think you feel it less in New York City, but at least like in LA is like so segregated the way that the cities are built. So it's like it's been amazing, and I can't wait to like bring it back. And you know, like more and more my mood board and my agenda is doing a lot more work for the youth, like more showcases. We do like a lot of high school showcases, we do some middle schools, but like, you know, it's just like there's some things like, you know, like that just like more and more I'm like, wow, like we're making all these efforts for these grown men, and after a certain amount of years there's a little bit of this like the gratitude level goes down, you know, when you play up so many years, and the comfort level is just like that young energy, you know, that you really feed off. I know, Joe, you got to feel it this summer. I saw the youth and the excitement, and it's like you really feed off of this vibe and excitement, you know. It's like minutes, like, you know, I feel like your excitement like is down. Like that's when I'm gonna be like, yo, I don't know that I can cater to that anymore. I'm hoping that's like, so, you know, the future is a little bit uncertain about like how much, you know, like how much work we're gonna put towards like, you know, just the adult part, and I think really develop more of the youth aspect and turning that into the league. Cause like, they have a blast, bro. Like when you get these young kids with an MC and the DJ, and they get their name, they earn their first nickname. It's different, you know.
Nah, for sure.
And I'm gonna tell you this: me and Joe, right? We getting a little bit older, and you know, we on the same level page with that as far as not necessarily canceling out, you know, the adults. Obviously they need that platform, but being more creative and doing so much more for the youth. And not only just in the games, right? Because it's easy to kind of put them in a game and let them play. But when you actually groom these kids and you put them through drills and you see their bodies changing because they're working out and they have more of a dedication to the sport, I think that for us is like has been something that has been really a transitional thing for us moving forward, because, you know, we understand that a lot of times when you grow kids through a program, those are the people that come back and help you. You know what I'm saying? Push it to the next level. And you know, so I definitely can attest to that. And great stuff what you're doing with that, man. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Nick. So we're gonna before we ask this question, right? Later on, I need a quick tour of Venice outside, so the van can see Venice outside, because you really outside.
Man, it's dark right now.
I'll let you go with that. But listen,
we're not in Venice. We're in the city right now. We're at the headquarters.
Okay. Right. Okay. I see the basketball. Okay.
We got the office upstairs. I'll take you upstairs. No fireplace. Some trophies. A lot of Pumas right there.
You see how you're showing off, right, VG? Look
at the Puma, man. That's a lot.
Shout out Puma hoops. But yeah, we're in the office. You see where the tables look
like. Dope. That's dope. I like that.
Some of the mood board in the back.
All right, well, I got you in your mood board section. Ready? Hoop Bus was an absolute sensation. It was a great shot in the arm for a pandemic year, with a year full of racism and controversy and social injustice. Talk to us about coming up with this idea. I know there's a bunch of people involved. I'd like to give them shout outs, but how did it come about, what was the core of it, and what was the actual feedback once you finished the tour?
I mean, Hoop Bus was super organic, bro. Honestly, it's like a combination of like everything that kind of I stand for is like, you know, kind of friendship, adventure, you know, communities in unity, and like, you know, we've been doing so much traveling for tournaments. You know, we've gone like all over Mexico, we've traveled all over the U.S. Just, you know, always kind of renting vans and like caravanning. People always like, oh, I want to roll. Yeah, when I was next time y'all going to Mexico, and like.
Right.
So yeah, we've done so much basketball traveling that's like, you know, I'm looking back at my time, I'm like, yo, we spent like $6,000 on rentals. Like, we might be able, you know what I mean? Like, we could probably buy something with that. And so then we start thinking about, you know, school buses, and I start really getting obsessed with it. You know, when I get with the idea, that I'm like, wow.
I know you. I watch you.
And then I brought it up to my guy Elliot. He's like a social media guru, and he's like, and he just kept calling me up on it. He's like, who bus? I'm like, bro, like, all right, we do it. And he was like, yo, I'm in LA. Like, I want to help you with this. And then again, like, yeah, same way we started the Build Course Not Walls campaign. We came on social, and we're like, hey, this is what we're thinking of. We're going to buy a bus. We're going to renovate, put hoops on it, and tour it, you know, all over the world. And,
right.
you know, and spread that love of the game. And, again, the people loved it. We raised the money. A couple of weeks later, December 2019, we are in you know, Palm Springs in the middle of the desert buying a bus, man. And you know, the biggest of their kind, 40-foot, 96-passenger bus, like things like gigantic, and just like, and then
you got some shots of the bus right now.
There you go. And then we got to build the bus. Shout out to Elliot right there, my boy, the bus driver experience came through. It was like, I called him the night off at like 10 p.m. I was like, yo, I don't really know how to drive buses. I know you drive buses. I was like, let me get on the roof, get some handles up.
That was tough right there.
And then, yeah, we bought a bus, natural gas, a little bit better for the environment. You know, get the D-slides working. You see I got the bands on, always putting that work. And it's, and we got the bus back to the city, renovated it, and pulled up at Lori's house. You know, she's like kind of like the hoop bus mom. And she's like this crazy like basketball scientist lady that I met when I was renovating a court in Watts. And
nice.
She was like, she kind of embraced the idea and like kind of helped me like kind of engineer those hoops, those original hoops, and again put a team together of builders and, you know, different influencers and people that had a voice in the community. And we started doing these little trips around the city. Trip around the city grew a little bit further. The bus kind of got packed, and then we're like, yo, it's All-Star Weekend. We're planning on renovating a court in Chicago, East Garfield Park with Bill, and you know, let's bring the bus out. Everybody's like, oh, but we want to come to All-Star. I was like, we can't fly everybody out, but maybe I just jump on the bus, man.
Makes sense.
The whole squad just loaded up to Chicago in the middle of the blizzard winter. Yeah, see, so we introduced a lot of topics. Like right there, we were doing like breath work, we're doing yoga. Like we always want to bring in like different elements, and it's always like cross-culture pollinated in the sense of like, you know, every week we're going to go to a different court. We're going to a different area in the city. That was like a 3x3 day. I had some kids from France. Like right now we're balling at a frat house with Tristan Jazz. Like we pulling up like I want to find that like hidden court. Like when we drive on the hoop bus, we pulled up like on like Indian land in New Mexico and Utah. And like, I want to find those jams, those like abandoned places. And again, some of these like forgotten and lost stories. And you know, that bus really brings a lot of hope and a lot of smiles and a lot of joy. And yeah, when the pandemic hit, I was like, man, like, damn, all the courts were locked down. I was like, I started shooting on my bus. But yeah, this is dope. Start driving it around. People like air shot it. And it was just like, people really like resonate to it. And yeah, at that time I dedicated to Kobe. It's like, it's a lot of history, like a year of nonstop, like, we probably toured the bus like over 100 days last year.
How many states? How many states you seen?
I think we've seen at least 20.
20 states. And how many days or how many
Maybe
months?
more. Too many days, man. Honestly, this is hard to put like a timeline to it. Or like,
Look at that picture right there.
and there you go. Yeah, that was part 2 of the Cross America
Yep.
Who Buzz BLM tour, and yeah,
Such a dope day, Nick. I
the
mean,
day
I
that the
told BG
protest. Yeah,
about
go
it.
ahead.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it was dope. It was dope. I mean,
Nah, yeah, the Hoop Bus, man. Again, like Nick, man. I mean, amazing. You
yeah, man.
know, I had the opportunity along with Joe. They came to a LES and they did the Dunk the Vote, which was another big platform. You know, not
Yes,
only for
that's right.
basketball, but pushing people to vote. And
yeah,
I'll say this, man. I was scared as hell on top of that bus. I tried to get a
yeah,
picture.
yeah.
I tried to get a picture on top of the bus, and I couldn't do. So I got a lot of respect for you for dribbling that ball on the bus. But I mean,
Yeah.
like the energy that you brought.
Yes.
I mean, New York City. You know, obviously the love for basketball is second to none. But the energy that you guys brung with that bus and just impacting people, man, giving out things, and just giving people a chance to during a tough time with the pandemic where basketball was taken away from us, right? I
Mhm.
just thought that it was very, very, very needful for you guys to do something of that nature. And I had a pleasure, man, being a part of it.
Thank you.
One of the best moments I have. So the question is for you: what is the plan for 2021? Is Hoop Bus still in effect? I
Yeah,
know you still want.
yeah,
I know you want Venice Beach to happen. I know we all want our leagues to happen. But
yeah.
what are your plans for this summer heading into these months?
I mean, VBL never stops. Who Bus never stops. Like, I feel like we planted like so many seeds. Like,
Yeah, that's what I want to
there's
hear.
so many of the guys that play in the league now that run their own pickup run and games. Now Meta's got a whole app. Like, like that's all VBL guys. So it's like I feel like, like we created like so much synergy around the city, around.
You went out, Nick.
There he goes.
Or like we have like more bus drivers now, and like a lot more people want to be involved. So yeah, we are trying to. We are putting together another cross country tour. So the Who Bus will be back in New York City in 2021. I don't know if it's going to be the Venice Who Bus because we're working on a bus in Chicago right now, and we want to have more franchises around the world. So hopefully one day we'll get to build a Who Bus NYC together.
Okay.
Let's do it.
And bring that energy, because I feel like every city, the vision for it is like, to be able to replicate the model and just make use of this vehicle of change, that open your mind, that always bring you to discovery, that always be a place that you can learn, right? I think it's like as adults, like there's a sense of like forgetting to play, and then and then forgetting to learn. It's like a lot of the old heads, like, everything's in. So I always feel like I'm always the student, never the master. I'm always kind of like I try to rethink, unlearn, and relearn like everything that's happening. So every time I embark on that bus, it's a new journey. It's new friendships, and it's something that truly blessed my life, and I wanted to be able to touch as many people as possible. So
Well, you did
the
that
goal
very
is
well. You did it very well.
to bring more buses out to the world. More
Well,
buses, less violence, more buckets, more.
I'm gonna scan
unity.
over. I'm gonna scan over BG and my license so we can be drivers here in New York. So you good?
Let's do it.
Just give us the vehicle.
Let's
We're gonna be
see
happy for you. I want to make sure I respect time. I just want to have a couple questions for you. So, Nick, I know you had mentioned earlier about street ball and how LA is different from every other city and state in terms of how to do basketball. But here in New York, there's more than 2 basketball leagues, indoor and outdoor. You being outdoor and Drew League being indoors.
Yeah.
How is that relationship? How is that connectivity? And what is it to like kind of? I mean, I don't know if you work with Drew League, but just having those 2 prominent leagues in LA, what does that mean to you in terms of street basketball?
I mean, that means more opportunity for guys to get hoops in. I mean, it's not enough, to be honest. Like the first few years that VBL was running, I didn't even know about Drew League. I mean, I came in to kind of blind. I was like, yo, I was like, this is Venice. I went to 100 courts around the city, and I was like, yo, Venice, that's unmatched. So, I mean, I think it's incredible what they've done, what they've built, the legacy, the dedication that Dino passed it on to Chanel. Like, shout out to Chanel, she's amazing. That it's like now it's like, again, like empowering women to become commissioner, and I think it's a different voice, and it's fresh, and it's an incredible platform. It's probably the biggest summer league in the world. I mean, I think the fact that it's happening in LA is great for basketball culture for the city. I mean, the city needs it.
Right.
I wish there were more, because we tens of millions of people. Like, there's LA, there's Orange County, there's San Diego. I mean, Phoenix is right here. Like, we have guys driving 3 or 4 hours each way just to come play one game on Sunday. So it's like, Southern California is flooded with talent, so the fact that, like, we're able to share that stage, and, most of the guys that play in VBL also play in the Drew League. We don't get the big headline player because, obviously it's, guys feel a little bit different about playing outside, and, also Nike comes with a certain level of power, and, they've done a really good job marketing that league and taking it really to another new height. So I think it's very important for the city. It's very important for hoopers, and we're kind of sad that, like, it hasn't happened last year. I hope that things will unlock, so the hoopers can go out and play, because now leagues are back in LA. They started up a couple of weeks ago. So
that's good update.
Great.
It's different without the fans, though. It's like
Me and BG speak about that, and Randy, like, well, we're allowed to put permits in, but what does that look like if the permit is approved, and how is that going to really change the basketball tournament, and what accommodations need to be met? So it's challenging times to think about that right now. So for me, and I know BG and Randy, we're thinking about the other platforms that we're going to really kind of nurture in order to elevate. So before we throw you into the commissioner corner, because that's a rapid fire question, I want to ask you best VBL moments for you, best players, and teams or fondest moments on VBL court.
Best VBL moment
for you.
Oh man!
For me, best players or
as
best
a hooper, or as a
whatever moment you want to share with me. I mean, if we're talking about commissioners, I would like to know a commissioner moment, preferably, but whatever you want to
share. Commissioner moment.
Like a certain player came one day, a certain game that stood out in your mind, and last second shot.
Exploited, bone collector, man. There's so many good moments of basketball, man. I mean, so many game winners.
I got a moment for you at Venice Beach. I don't remember. I have a moment for you for Venice Beach that I'll never forget. I don't remember what year this was. This might have been 2002. I could be wrong. Randy is really big on that. I remember going to Venice, watching the game, BG, and I think I'm on a hill. There's a hill on the court, so you step up on the court. There's a little hill, and in the background is the beach and the other courts where White Man Can't Jump was filmed. So I'm facing his courts, and I'm younger. I'm thinking my dad was there. No. And I see a guy roll up on the bike. It's an NBA athlete. So I'm like, yo, he's 6'10". Like, this guy's just not, he ain't gonna come to the court with a bike and just not do anything. So I said, oh shit, that's Amari Stoudemire. Oh shit. So I'm like, Amari Stoudemire on the bike right in front of this freaking basketball court by the beach. Oh, I gotta do this shit back in the East Coast. This is amazing. Oh, shit, so that's one of my favorite moments. Like, I don't know if I think Nick was, not there at the time. It was like in the late 90s, maybe like early 2000s, and I go there and I see Amari, and I'm like, wow, Amari Stoudemire is right in front of my face for free in front of these courts. It's amazing. So, like, it's a melting pot. I agree with you. It brings people from all across the world. It's brought me there a couple of times to kind of touch ground on that, because I told you the story, BJ knows the story, my brother knows the story. My dad was there. My dad went to Venice Beach on a business trip. He used to work for Jennifer Convertibles. He was a national sales trainer for everybody who gets hired in a company, and they were flying him out to each state to get him trained. When he went to LA, his trips are 4 or 5 days. He took a trip to Venice to walk the boardwalk, and he's like, he called me at the time, no cell phones. It was like, hey, I'm over here. We're doing this when I get back.
Yeah.
I said, doing what? there's a basketball league on the beach that looks just like Orchard Beach. We're doing this. This is amazing. And I said, you crazy? Are you crazy? We're going to do this. And lo and behold, he came back with that idea, that spark. And 21 years later, his idea is still intact. So, whether you were there or not, you have inspired me and inspired others 3,000 miles away from you at to continue doing what we do. So we want to make sure we highlight you today because
thank you. That's love. That's love.
Many people don't know you. Many people do know you. If they don't know you, they should know you. But I'm glad that we had that opportunity to know you today and know you better. And just our relationship, off this camera is totally different. So I got mad love and respect for you.
Thank you. Same. That right back at y'all. Yeah, for sure.
So BG, it's time. Red Bull Commissioner Corner. Ready? All right. So Nick, I'm gonna have BG started off. We're gonna ask you random questions. They're popcorn answers, just to get to know you and the fan get to know you. If fans, jump in. Any fan that want to ask a question real quick, please do so. Drop in the comments. So we're gonna start off with the Red Bull Commissioner Corner. Here we go.
All right, cool, man. I mean, we don't want you to be biased,
What's the setup, right? Am I getting set up right now? What's going on?
Yeah, you might have to sit up, man. You know what I mean? But what is your favorite all-time basketball movie of all time?
Soul in the Hole.
Oh wow, classic.
Oh, I like that, Nick.
I mean, people got to do their homework a little bit.
So you're a fan of Booger Smith? You're a big fan of Booger Smith.
That's special. That really dove in. I was like, wow, I spent a summer. I spent a summer in the Bronx in 2001, and I was like, oh, we did was a hoop, and I was like that movie really marked and inspired so much. I think a lot of my life,
So nice.
Shout out to Bug. What happened to this hooper? Has he hooped? Has he played in your league? Was it Bug Washington? What happened to him?
Booger Smith?
Booger Smith. Booger Smith. Yeah.
He's still around. He hasn't played in my tournament. He probably visited at some point. I know about BG, but he's a big time name over here. As a legend for sure.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
For sure. I don't put you in the spot, but I got to. Favorite sneaker all time on off the court for you? I know you
sneak, probably the Dunk. Dunk one, black and yellow. I rocked it size 10 when I was a size 6, just because they didn't have my size, I probably wore that kick for 8 years straight, bro.
Well, you finally fit into it then at that point.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, B.
All right, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna go shout out to all the streetball tournaments, man. We so blessed to give a lot of the streetball commissioners some shine. Who's your favorite Mount Rushmore streetball players of all time?
Streetball players of all time? Streetball Mount Rushmore. So I can name 4?
4. We give you 5. We give you 5 just to be nice.
I'm gonna put Sick With It. I'm gonna put Bone Collector. I'm gonna put my guy North Kakalaki, aka the Hezzy God. He's our current MVP right now. up and coming, never gets old. Streetball. Man, the Mount Rushmore. Who's gonna take the last spot? I gotta put my man Chris Staples. Been rocking with me for 10 years. Never disappoints. He's a dunk master. Shout out to Easy, the guy who was on the tour with us right here.
Easy, what up, Easy?
What up, Easy? Easy did the whole tour, right?
Easy, what up, baby?
Painted all the courts. All the guys behind the scene making it happen. He was the chef. Went over cooking up for the people, feeding hundreds of people, making everything happen. So, big man in the middle, yeah.
So I got a little beef with you, right? You got Sick With It before Skip to Malou?
Well, Skip, I didn't get to witness Skip, so it's okay. For me, it's I saw the movies and stuff. We had a little shootout with Skip, but I understand how you feel. If you go street ball, I probably would give it to like AO maybe.
Hey, yo, it's
Witness
tough too.
maybe in the street ball if we go like in that route of man. There's a lot of greats, man. That's a tough
It's
one.
a hard question.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
revisit that. Let me look through back in the history. You guys make me dig
Only
in.
4 questions in the corner, and you can't even come out the corner. All right, here we go. Favorite music that you like to listen to or go to for you? Your favorite Zen music?
Nice.
And what kind of genre it is?
Anti up MOP.
Okay.
Zen music.
I kind of feel you live in New York, buddy. I kind of feel you.
Oh yeah, I
Hey.
grew up on New York music. I'm like
And
I'm deep in the New York culture.
And yeah,
All right.
top players in your league.
tough.
Top player.
In your league.
I mean, we just won back-to-back world championship. I mean, I think North Kakalaki for sure, aka the Hezi. We got Julian, aka I'm built different, playing in Germany right now. Van Gerard, aka All Fades. Mamadou, 7'6". He can never hurt you. You know, what I mean, he gets a little lazy sometimes, but he can't beat that height and that just amazing like positivity and energy overall. I mean, there's a lot of greats, man. Look at Venice versus World footage. I mean, Bionic Brooks is just Dream Chaser. These guys, like, we won a couple world championships in China, big bags, like $150,000 at a time. So it's a lot of great talent, but it's like, sometimes it's like how it clicks. We got a lot of heavy, strong guards, and then just certain personalities sometimes don't match. So that's Meta was definitely one of the greats that touched. He had a couple of 40-point games, especially when we went indoors. We went indoor a couple of times. Meta went crazy in there.
I got one more question for you in the corner. One more question. Who's your favorite? Because you look like you do your homework. Who's your favorite basketball player, actor of all time?
Basketball player of?
Like who was an actor? Like who played a role in like a movie? Like an actor that plays basketball.
Movie Hooper. Jeez, that was the movie Hooper.
Me and Joe were just talking about Above the Rim. some ill movies, man. And
Above the Rim is legendary. I mean, I don't know. Shaq. I don't know. I don't know. I can't get a hold of Shaq. I mean, I grew up on Shaq. Like once I figured out like you could break backboards, that's when I was a kid in France, and I was like, I saw like, I was like, we can do that shit in basketball. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. You can't tell me anything else. Like those big things, they eventually snap and break. I was like, I want to be strong like Shaq, and he's a comedian. He's true. Yeah. He's still genuine. We did an event with him a couple of years ago in downtown LA, and he's just, he's just a real dude. And it resonates with his son. Like Shakir played in the KVBL. Sharif, been rocking with us too. And played some pretty amazing game here. So, just a dope dude. Funny that always kind of reinvented. Such a smart businessman. He's definitely a big inspiration. So I look forward to hopefully working with him some more.
So I have I know you did the world tour with the Hoop Bus. Any states or city that stood out for you that you didn't know about that was special for you?
Special cities, man. Dallas. I mean, bro. I mean, again, you really going digging into this multiplicity of city. I mean, we really I fell in love. Definitely Chicago, Philly is still very underrated. I feel like, when you talk about the essence of sports and something it still has a real grain, it just has a certain look and feel. And you still dig through alleys and see some crates, it's the aesthetics and the grit and the genuineness of people. And I'm saying New York doesn't have that, but it's more low key in the sense of wow, like, you know, you don't really know. You think like, oh, New York City is like Philly's kind of like in the shadow of that. Definitely enjoy all the East Coast flavors, but yeah, I mean, you know, Dallas was special again. Like Oak Cliff, we really had an amazing time.
Nice.
We did the biggest like Black Lives mural in Texas, you know, so that was special again, getting accepted in that community. But yeah, I don't want to go too long. I think these were supposed to be quick questions, but
I know.
yeah, man. I mean, I love it all, man. Every day I try to be as present as possible and just really soak it in, you know, and just really make the most of every encounter and every moment on the tour, you know. Raleigh, North Carolina was pretty amazing, man.
Raleigh's
really
dope.
I've been there, but
amazing hoopers. And Charlotte energy's like genuine, man. Like
Good.
Pure talent over there. Like that was a surprise to me. I was like, you know, people told me halfway, like, North Carolina hoop state, you're gonna see. I was like, oh, damn, like we got greeted like there was like 300 hoopers at the park. It was like, that was some real competition, man. So
hey, well, listen, I want to say this. Anybody that's still on with us, I appreciate you tuning in. We are live with Nick Ansom, of the commissioner of the Venice Bowl League at Venice Beach. If you want to download, subscribe this podcast, please go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. You can also subscribe to us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple, and all your streaming services. Nick, I want to tell you I had a great time with you tonight.
Thank you. Same here, boys. I appreciate it.
I want to wish you all the best. Can you let us know? Also, yes, Twitter at Commish Corner and Instagram at commissioners.corner. You can follow us. Nick, what do you got coming up? And please share your social media handles with the world in terms of what you got coming up.
Cool. Everything's pretty much at Venice Ball. Coming up, trying to get back across country, do another tour. Waiting on these like COVID laws so we can kind of unlock the courts in Venice or find another place to run our league this summer. And you know, always in hoop mode, man. If the courts are locked, you know, I'm gonna be in the lab once a week building some hoops. You know, always digging the alleys, finding recycled trash to turn into hoops. You know, it's just we love the game, so like nothing's gonna stop us over here. And yeah, just like, you know, putting together maybe a little documentary coming soon of like all these adventures and journeys, like really finally taking a minute to like look back in all the archives and start really dig into that content and hopefully like sharing some of these amazing stories and yeah, man, just making the most out of every day possible here on this short span time on Earth.
I hear you. Well, listen,
definitely want to definitely make sure that you know, I want to give you my blessings, man, for having you on here. It's good to get in deep and learn people more deeply and to show how organic and how authentic you are and how much you love the game of basketball. And for me and Joe and just this platform, we want to let people know that basketball, you can do so many things with basketball even after you finish playing basketball. And what you've done with VBL, what you've done with, you know, all of your different endeavors outside of VBL, you know, rebuilding courts and just giving people hope. You know, this platform for us was about giving the creative and giving the culture hope during these tough times. And, you know, as people look back at this interview, they can see how much you've done to just create hope, not only in just California, but just throughout all of the United States. So
you guys send me up, bro. I appreciate it.
Nah, man. So just not for real, I didn't know half that stuff, man. You know, we do our homework, but just to hear the passion of your voice, man. And like I said, just to see you and LES, you know, I just want people to just really look at this interview to see the unique person you are, man. So love is love, man.
Thank you. Big love. Yeah.
Nick, man, love you, man.
We all playing our part, man. We all playing a little contribution to the game, man. You know, this game saved my life. I'm sure it played a big part in your guys' life too. So
I told you this last year. Remember this story last year? I told you. I said, listen, I know you're down and out with the street ball stuff. I'm gonna get to the platform to reinvigorate you because you are a man with many traits. And I need you to keep doing what you're doing because you motivate us. And as commissioners, we salute you. And we commend you. And like BG said, a lot of stuff I knew, but a lot of stuff I did not know. So just to have that history in my memory tank now to do what I want to do with it. That's pushing it forward. So I want to say thank you, Nick, for your time. Blessing to your family. Be safe out there. Both of us, all three of us, are one call away. So if you need us,
right. And looking forward to see you guys back in New York. And anytime you guys are in LA, you're welcome. And Joe, you're the only dude that can convince me to get on the podcast right now, man. I get everybody trying to get me on their podcast, man. He was like, "You hit me with the therapy." I'm gonna. He hit me. That's he gave me a message. Like, I think Nick, you need some therapy. He was like, "Yo." So there you go, man. I
love you
guys
too, and I appreciate you, and I won't never forget what you did for me in those conversations. Okay,
that's love, yo. All right, cool.
All right, man.
Peace,
salute, baby. All right.
Salute, everybody.
Wow, amazing. I think you put it well, BG. I think that I knew the stuff that he did. I knew of the place. I didn't know stuff behind the scenes beyond what he was doing. So it's such a great story to be. Share that with you as a commissioner and learn somebody else how they commission their tournament and what they do with the area. So it was beautiful to hear. So I don't know, share your feedback if you want.
No. I mean, like I told him, it's this kind of segue of series that we're doing to not only just bring up commissioners here, but to honor commissioners and their respective of tournaments and their brands.
Right.
It's to showcase just what goes on behind closed doors, and just to see that we're not these guys that's just running around when the tournaments are happening. We have missions and we have goals to set, just not only for the tournament but for the community.
Yes.
And see what he did, man, for California and Venice Beach in that area, man. That's big time. So
that's amazing.
People will appreciate him a little bit more if they haven't already. After watching this interview, and for you to get him up and to make that call, and like you said, it's therapeutic, man. Sometimes just talking basketball, and I think for us, man, we're all humble. I want to say, I think everybody who's a commissioner is super humble, and we don't like to talk about the things that we've done, but it's kind of very refreshing to be able to talk about the things that we have done and look back on it and reflect on it. It does a lot for the soul.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say any better than that. Just one thing I want to tell everybody, that if you hear this interview and you don't believe the stuff that he's doing, I've seen it live and direct. I've seen it. And social media, believe it or not, that's happening. So I just want to let you know that what we're doing now, moving forward this month, just for our listeners, just want to remind everybody, please subscribe and download to our podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple. Also, please check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Just want to let everybody know that we're going to do a street ball segment. We're doing a summer ball segment. We're going to bring all the commissioners on from New York. Next week, we have Miles Rawls from the DC Goodman League.
Tough.
And then after that, we have Dino Smiley from the Drew League. So we're going to start west and come back east to give everybody an opportunity to come on this platform with the time that we have this show that's live. So I want to respect time. We're also going to bring on referees. We're going to do a lot of basketball stuff that in terms of our life and what we do as commissioners that we can dive into the work. Because one thing about me and BG, we are getting older, and we're going to need a new Joe Cruz, a new Randy Cruz, and a new BG.
That's a fact.
So, to push this forward, because basketball is, like Nick said, is universal. And we have a lot of people that really support us, a lot of people that support everybody across this world. But want to make sure that everybody supports this podcast to continue these conversations and bring on these special guests. Please follow us on Twitter at Commish Corner. Commissioner Corner has a Twitter feed. Please show some love at Commish Corner. And our Instagram, which still needs some love, at commissioners.corner. So if you are, support us, whether you support us or not, please listen to our podcast, give us some feedback, and allow us to bring the flowers to the people that truly deserve it. So on that note, from my partner Brian Gardenhire, aka Mr. Ellis Express, I'm Joe Cruz, co-commissioner of Hoops in the Sun. On behalf of Randy Cruz, the extraordinary producer, this is another show of the Commissioner Corner podcast here on the Cruise Control Podcast Network.